Okay, carrying on to our next presenter, we're pleased to introduce Awalé Resources, a gold company also located in East Cote d'Ivoire, with the flagship ODN project covering 7 total permits, 2 in JV with Newmont. Awalé has made several exciting discoveries, including a 57-meter, 26 gram per ton gold hit at Charger, and a 75-meter, 1.9 gram per ton gold equivalent hit at BBM, while now working up targets on their own 100% owned ground. We're excited to have Andrew Chubb with us today. Andrew brings over 2 decades of experience to the company. Thank you and so much, Andrew.
Hi, Matt. Thanks for the nice introduction, and thanks to everyone at SCP for inviting us to speak here today. You had some really nice talks before us showing the prospectivity of Cote d'Ivoire and the fact that Cote d'Ivoire is really a fairly hot country in West Africa at the moment, and some really exciting discoveries and resource development going on. So it's really nice for Awali to be part of that story. So just without further ado, let's the usual forward-looking statements. There are some of those, of course, in this discussion. So Awalé Resources, we actually established in Cote d'Ivoire in early 2018. I was the technical lead back then and helped a company called Mariana put together projects in Cote d'Ivoire. And then in 2023, I took over as CEO and really took the company to be focused on the Odiani district, which was what I really thought had the excellent potential for a junior company for discovery and future development. And fortunately for me, in a way, the hard work that the team puts in on the ground, we do have a really good team whom I'll talk about later on. We have had some really good exploration success within the project area. And the project area is in the northwest of Cote d'Ivoire. We've got just under 2,500 square kilometres of tenure. We do have a portion of that in joint venture with Newmont, where Newmont funds and we operate. And that is where we have made the discoveries to date. But also more, so the other 2/3 is 100% of Awali, and where I'll be talking about that a bit to start with, because we're really quite excited about to get our teeth into that ground. And we have, at the moment we have a strong balance sheet. We have around about 8 million Canadian in cash to spend wholly on the 100% Awali permits, which we've just really started to launch our exploration on those now. So I'll be talking about that a little as well. So why we are where we are, and this is part of why I became so excited about Odiani and why I thought it should be the flagship for Awalé Resources. And we sort of started to realise where we were on a regional scale and to join the dots between where we were and other big gold producing provinces. And we are sitting on this major crustal scale structure that goes from the west of Cote d'Ivoire, where we are, all the way through Guinea and up into Western Mali. And there are 2 particularly big or 2 large gold districts along that already, and I think Awali will be the Awali Odiani district will be the next one of those. So the other 2 districts are the Lulo Kuntoko or complex in the KKI in Western Mali, which includes Sadiola, which Allied Gold has now as well, and then what I call the Bankan cluster, which is sort of Robex and predictive discovery there. And then on that flexure in the structure where Awali is the one that's sort of just growing now. So we made our first discoveries really only just over 12 months ago, and we've really progressed those rapidly in the last 12 months. So just taking a step back before I go and talk about our discoveries, I think what we've done with our discoveries is proven that we are on a big plumbing system with the district scale potential that we keep talking about. And we've just recently had the Sama and Saidu permits granted only a few weeks ago. And we've started work on this Cienso permit over here, which is an option agreement with Turaco, which will be taking up 100% of that option in the not too distant future. So, so on those properties, we really do see the potential within those. They are on the same structural trends, and we have already completed early stage geochemistry on those Sama and Seydu permits, and hopefully we'll get through the permitting to fly, and we'll be flying aerial magnetic surveys, which are extremely helpful for our targeting and what we've learnt from all the exploration that we've done within the joint venture in the last few years. So we've developed a lot of intellectual property, I suppose, in the exploration we've done within the joint venture, and we really understand the system, the pathfinders, and the finer details of what we're looking at in the district to make new discoveries, and we think we can do that quite rapidly. So that's all that work that we're doing is with a view to being able to, on the Sama and Seydu permits there, we have a view to be drilling a rated and ranked targets on those two in early 2026. And on the Cienso permit over there, we've already done some scout drilling on the Fremen target, which we're awaiting results for. We drilled 4 scout drill fences along strike from BBM, where we had surface geology that was similar to BBM and nice gold and copper anomalism that guided us on that. And I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail as well. So we're truly excited about the 100% Awali targets, and that is really a future big catalyst for the company is discovery on the 100% ground that is not joint ventured with someone else. Sorry, I'm just there we go. So coming down to the joint venture properties and just have a talk about those discoveries we have made. We do lead with Charger. The drill results there are nothing short of spectacular, and we drilled the 57 meters at 26, which Matt talked about we announced that in March, April last year. Follow-up drilling on those, produced similar 600 gram meter intervals, and those 3 intervals are among the best gold intercepts in Africa, not just West Africa, in the last 12 months, if not longer. So Charger is a high grade free gold target, and comes to surface, and there is also exploration upside there, which I'll talk about soon. But the exploration upside here at Charger is really quite interesting in that. So now that the drilling that we have done, we've really dug down into what the alteration system means, and the other thing about it is that we have actually now unraveled the geometry. So we had some early the earlier models of pipes really are not exactly what it is. It is a breccia system, but it is absolutely structurally controlled, and there is a northwest structural control, which we have in the most recent round of drilling consistently hit with every drill hole. But the other part of that is that the alteration is absolutely demagnetization. So you go from high mag to low mag when you're within the Charger breccia zone. It's almost a knife edge contact, and in the aerial and ground geophysics that we've done over Charger, there are sort of like a honeycomb of cells which are delineated by those zones labeled 1 to 5 on there, and each one of those is a demag zone in the mag. So there's very high mag in between those, and they drop off into very low mag within those cells. And the drill holes that you can see in those other targets there, those other circles, they were targeted at the actual Charger discovery. So we haven't done any particular targeted drilling in any of those other 4 zones yet, but they all lie within our broader gold footprint that sits around the intrusion. So there is an intrusion that hosts the Charger mineralization, and so that's exciting blue sky for us on that Charger target, as well as the along strike and down plunge and dip mineralization that we have within the discovery zone. So that the next slide is is a long section, which is cut, along the structure that hosts the mineralization. And we can see here that we've got a gram meter long section, and the purple is plus 300 gram meters, and then down to plus 100 gram meters in the red zone there. We have 4 holes that we have results pending for, sitting down here, which is around about a 70-meter step down from that discovery zone where we got all those high-grade hits. And so the work that we did up here, we drilled. The initial 2 holes were particularly targeted at looking at a low-angle shoot within this steep plunge. And holes at 118 and 120 came back with broad zones of nice mineralization that matched up with that thesis. So if you think about this, we would have a sub-horizontal zone where that drill hole 83 is, and then with the drilling we've got in those 4 holes that are roughly 70 meters below. We've seen something similar or similar things in the drill core. So if you would think of this like a ladder going down, we think there'll be more of those high-grade zones as we go down. And the other thing with the drilling that we've done is we did speculate that there would be other sub-horizontal shoots. We think it's fault controlled, and one hole in particular, which was 127, sorry, it actually hit a parallel zone. The intercept in that hole hit a parallel zone in 137, 26 meters at 2 grams, around about 50 meters away from that zone that we're talking about there. So significant upside at Charger, both down dip and plunge. As well as there is open zones for parallel zones beside or in near to the mineralization that we have intercepted there. So moving on to BBM, which is really a bread and butter discovery. The recent drilling that we did, and we've been putting out these results in the last couple of months, and all those results are out now. And really, we've come into 100-meter drill spacing in the central sort of 1 to 1.2 kilometers. And we've always said that BBM, the mineralization is consistent and robust. And this that 100-meter spaced infill drilling has really just shown that. And you can see all these results here. It is that consistent 1 to 2 grams gold equivalent over significant widths throughout that 1 kilometer zone. So we really have a central 1 kilometer zone with their downhole widths there. And what we're reporting there is discounted. It is a gold and copper. So just to start with, we haven't got our met work through yet. We have started some initial met work at BBM. But at the moment we're discounting those to 80% of the actual results that we've been getting. So that is an absolute success story for us in that we did broad scale geochemistry, came in and drilled 4 scout drill holes over that sort of 1.3 kilometers that you can see there. Announced a discovery. No one really took any notice at that stage. We came back and drilled about 12 or 15 more holes and announced those, and people started to take notice. And that was in sort of March last year, and that was our first sort of kick in share price. We went from roughly 12.5 cents to 25 cents after that. And then after that one, we announced the Charger discovery, which pushed us even higher. But yeah, BBM is really bread and butter. And the next slide is a long section through BBM, again looking towards the northwest, just to show you what BBM looks like. And so BBM it's got a 300-meter wide plunging chute in the core there. And inside there, the true widths are averaging out at 30 meters, and in the green zones, which are plus 20 gram meters, the true widths out there are around about 20 meters. and they were averaging at 20 meters. And the drilling that we did, as I mentioned, focused on a central sort of 1 to 1.2 kilometer zone, and it was restricted to 300 meters vertical depth, and that was with a view to what a conceptual open pit might be at the BBM target. It is absolutely open down plunge, and it is actually open along strike. So the BBM structure from the 100% Awali permit next door all the way up towards the Lando target is a bit over more than 15 kilometers long. And we have got geochemistry over most of that trend now. We've got more on our 100% Awali targets that we've now completed, and the results will come through from that soon. But there is anomalism all the way along that trend. So in recent drilling, we did some scout drill holes on what I would call BBM satellite targets within a couple of kilometers, and within a couple of kilometers of this 1.2 kilometer zone. And the geology looks good in those drill holes as well. So we think there's significant expansion potential at BBM, a lot, you know, in proximal or in close proximity to that BBM discovery, but also further along strike as well. So this is talking about our those BBM satellites. We've completed IP. We've completed IP all the way along those targets, and this is what I'm saying. So we've drilled some drill fences. This is the BBM discovery area is in that box in the right hand part of the image, and you can see some black lines where we drilled some satellite fences within 1 kilometer of BBM there, and then we also did some satellite drilling down toward the southwest as well. And the best, the more interesting geology was actually quite close to the permit boundary with our 100% permits there as well. So that's pretty interesting as too, which is encouraging for the Fremen target, which is just across there. So the Fremen target sits about 4 kilometers from the BBM discovery. So this slide is on that Fremen target. So again, the box on the left hand side there, this time is the BBM discovery, and you can see the 4 scout drill lines that we've drilled there. We're awaiting results from those. You know, the geology looks pretty interesting. We've got sulfides. We drilled RC, not air core, so we did actually get down into the fresh rock, and we're seeing sulfides in that core, and it's interesting. So if we get and the geology is similar to BBM with the granodiorite. I keep jumping slides, sorry. And with the granodiorite in that drilling as well, and this is scout drilling. So you know what we're looking for is broad. You know, broad zones, and the story of BBM is high strain. So the high strain in the granodiorite is where the best mineralization is, and you know we definitely saw high strain rocks and sulfides within that. So we're hopeful at over broad intervals. So we're hopeful of seeing some broad intervals of mineralization at Fremen, and it remains open to the south. So when we drilled Fremen, the geochemistry finished roughly where it says P1 there, or where that southern line is. We've now completed geochemistry all the way to the southern boundary of the permit, following along that trend, and we're awaiting results for that. But we're confident that that structure from the magnetics, from the regional magnetics, absolutely continues all the way down through the permit, and we'll continue to see further anomalism to the south as well. So, you know, I guess that's the early stage target that we have drilled because the permit was granted, and we've been able to do more geochemistry, and we were fortunate enough to have geochemistry from Resolute, who had the permit before Turaco. So they did some really broad stream sediment sampling and 1 kilometer spaced termitaria and soil sampling there as well, which we were able to use there as well. So we've advanced that target quite quickly once we started working on it late last year. So now we're sort of stepping back into the 100%, and we've brought Empire was the first discovery we made, and we got early stage 100 gram meter intercepts at Empire, and those early high-grade gold intercepts was after we drilled those. That was when Newmont actually showed some initial interest. And then whilst Newmont were doing their due diligence, we actually drilled Charger and drilled a hole called RC89. And that was sort of an early discovery where we got about 20 meters at 2 grams. And Charger was a story of tenacity, because when we followed up 89, the results were not that, what we wanted to see. And we went back to the drawing board and finally came back there. And one of the early holes that we actually drilled when we came back in there again was the diamond hole 83 that got the spectacular intercept that we did. And so that's more testament to the team being tenacious and really getting stuck into the structural geology. We drill all oriented core. We collect all the data that we can and really do that extra 10, it's not 100%, it's like at that 110% that really helps us with our targeting within the project area. And so at Empire, we came back in to shore up what we thought the plunge of the mineralization was at Empire. We always thought that there was a steeply plunging system that would be open, but the drilling we'd done was only down to 125 meters. So the next slide's got a long section again through Empire. So it follows the northwest strike of that Empire target. And we came after doing the shallow holes and shored up our model. We drilled this deeper hole, OEDD 127, and we got 15 meters at 5 at about 130 odd meters below surface. So it's absolutely open down plunge. And the other thing about Empire is that we, as Awali pre-Newmont, we'd done some exploration drilling around it and got lots of interesting intercepts close to Empire and also along strike to the southeast. But as a company, when we got Newmont on board, we sort of broadened our wings and did a lot more exploration, made the BBM discovery, made the Charger discovery, or turned Charger into a spectacular discovery is probably more to the point. Uncovered the Lando footprint, which we also drilled this quarter. So we know a lot more about the system now, and we've got a lot more confidence in what the Empire corridor has to offer. So Empire sits in a northwest striking corridor, which is common within, there are large northwest structures that cut through the project. And the Empire corridor is over 15 kilometers long, and we think there's significant upside along that corridor for future exploration and discovery as well. So I just mentioned the Lando target, which is right up the north of the properties. This has come into play now. We've drilled some big, 1 kilometer long system fences across the Lando soil anomaly. It's a 4 kilometer long soil anomaly up to 1 kilometer wide. We've seen some interesting geology. So that was mostly RC drilling with some diamond holes. We've seen some interesting copper, gold, moly mineralization in the RC and diamond drilling. Those results are yet to come as well. So in summary on all that, we drilled 18,000 meters from December to the end of March. And we've released to date about a bit over 1/3 of those results. So we've released all the BBM results. It's 1/2 now because we released Empire earlier this week. But we've released all the BBM results, shown how robust BBM is a system. And then we've also released some Charger results and the Empire results as well.
Andrew, just just flagging the time. So if there's a few key slides you want to touch on before we get into Q&A, please feel free.
Yeah, no worries. I am closing off now. So just quickly, we are a tightly held company, good capital structure. Newmont also has an 11% interest in the Topco. A capital raise that we did last year, we brought in a really good series of institutional investments in the capital raise, which was led by Franklin Templeton, but we got Argonaut Gold Fund from Australia, APAC from Australia, from Australia as well as the Lundin family with Broma, and some others as well. So we are tightly held, only 87.5 million shares outstanding, just under 114 million fully diluted. We've sort of have a consistent share price now between sort of 47 and 53 cents, and I think we're really just poised to break through that sort of average 52-cent share price that we have with the work that we're doing on the 100% Awali permits and the continued work, the continued work that we'll keep doing with Newmont's money on the joint venture. So thanks very much, everyone, and I'll be really happy to answer some questions.
Great. Well, Andrew, thank you for joining us today. Yeah, I think I can speak for everyone when saying that it's been fun to see the great results roll in, and we look forward and hope to see some continued success. Let's jump into a couple questions just in the essence of time here. First question, how far are you from a PEA, and will you need to go to market to raise money within the next 12 to 18 months?
So PEA, that's something we're in discussion with Newmont about right now. So I mentioned that we sent off, I think it was mineralized zones from 4 holes at BBM, which we're doing met work on now. So we've got a lot of the pieces together, or getting a lot of the pieces together to do some of those early stage studies and move that into more PFS scale work next year. So that's definitely coming. And then, BBM and I mean, Charger and Empire, they're free gold systems. So we really don't see any, problems with those. They're very much, the mineralization is very much gold only. BBM is gold and copper, but all the copper is chalcopyrite. So we expect, that to float very easily. And then it's a matter of what the gold deportment is within that, and what's, that's one of the important factors. What's the gold deportment within that, and what are we doing with the sulfide concentrate? And there are other copper targets. So Lando's a copper target as well, and so is Scepter. So there are lots of things that we need to start to bring into play to see what we're going to do with the copper as well as the gold within the system.
Right. Great. Thank you. Next question. What is the significance of Charger being demagnetized?
So yeah, I tried to touch on that. It really just opens that exploration blue sky. So there are other demag zones. There are 4 other demag zones within that Charger intrusion. It's a diorite intrusion, and it's really clear in the mag. So it's something that's going to come into play in our exploration there, over the next 6 months as getting in there and see if we can find a couple of other charges within those other zones, along with the potential parallel zones in the discovery area that we have made.
Right. And one last quick one for you. Does Montage or do the Lundins have stake in Awalé?
Sorry, say that again.
Question came in. Does Montage or do the Lundins have a stake in Awalé?
So what I just showed you there, Brommer, is Harry Lundin's group. So it's not, they came in the last capital raise, but Montage and we don't have a deal like the other guys that spoke today, A1G or Aurum, but yeah, so they have, I guess what you would call a toe in the water.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, before we jump, if you have any closing words, please feel free, and I'll get you to repeat your ticker for the audience as we sign off.
Yeah, of course, we're Awalé Resources, TSX-V, ARIC, ARIC. And the closing thing is, look, I think I get a lot of questions about what's Newmont going to do. That's not what keeps me awake at night, because I think, with the discoveries we're made, we're really online for on a mid-tier scale project today. If Newmont really wants to continue beyond the initial earn-in, that really means that they as a company have eyes for something that is of their scale, not a mid-tier scale, which would be a fantastic thing for us. And even if it's on the other side and they decide to pull away, we are sitting on a mid-tier project. So, I feel like that is a win-win situation for Awalé. And then beyond that, discovery we don't know if all that work we've done in ODNE East is actually the center of gravity. So we've got a really good pegging all around the discoveries that we've made. And, it's really exciting to be starting work on that 100% Awali ground. And, maybe the center of gravity is not actually where we've been working. It's in the 100% Awali. And as an exploration geologist, you're always thinking that way.
Yeah, well, all the best, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Matt.